beauty consultant just to earn some extra income. On her road to success, she discovered that people are her passion, along with the joy she receives by watching them succeed. As a sales director, she was queen of unit sales 7 times and the #1 sales director nationwide 7 times. She led her unit to the $1 million Circle of Excellence 6 times and the $2 million Circle of Excellence, not once, but 3 times. She debuted as a national sales director out of the Mary Diem area in 2000 and is a member of the NSD Millionaires Club with over $15 million she's earned in commissions since starting her business in 1986. She is proud to have Sue Ponko debut as a national sales director from her area, a top 10 national, nationwide, 18 times, and a 22-time Inner Circle National Sales Director. The #1 National Sales Director for the Diamond Seminar for the 5th consecutive year, and the #3 National Nationwide. Please welcome Independent Senior National Sales Director, Lisa Madson.
Welcome you again to Seminar 2022. You know, I know that Mary Kay would be thrilled to see her daughters together here in Dallas. As beautifully as the executive leaders, corporate employees, and independent sales force transition to the virtual world of doing business, nothing beats being together with all of you. Nothing. I'd like to personally thank Mike Strong, Director of Salesforce Development, for all the support he and his team have given me and our entire national area over the past year. You have been there for us through some challenging times, and I absolutely love working with you. I'd also like to thank Ryan Rogers, David Hull, and Nathan Moore, and their incredible executive teams for their continued leadership. As we head toward the anniversary of the founding of this company 60 years ago, your leadership continues to keep Mary Kay as a preeminent opportunity for women in the country. We are so grateful for every employee who works for Mary Kay, every single one. Thank you for all that you do. 35 years ago, in the summer of 1987, my husband and I drove from Madison, Wisconsin to Dallas, Texas in our unair-conditioned red Ford Tempo to attend our first seminar. We had no idea what to expect, but those 3 days changed the course of our lives. We met some amazing people who have become lifelong friends. We got a big picture glimpse of everything that was possible in Mary Kay. We heard from many of the top national sales directors, including my national sales director, Arlene Lenars. We saw women earning the use of their Mary Kay career cards and traveling on exotic trips around the world. Best of all, we got to meet Mary Kay Ash and had the privilege of listening to her speak. Whenever she entered the room, it was a magical experience. She connected with people in a way that I'd never seen before. When I had the chance to speak with her at her home that summer, she shook my hands and looked me in the eyes. She made me feel like we were the only 2 people in the room, despite the fact there was a line of people waiting to talk to her. Anytime I saw her after that, she would say, "How are you, Lisa?" I quickly learned that I better not say, "I'm fine, Mary Kay," or "I'm pretty good." I would say, "Mary Kay, I'm great." At that first seminar, a dream was planted in my heart, a dream that I acted on the minute I got back to Wisconsin. It was 105 degrees when my husband and I left Dallas. With no air conditioning in our car, we rolled out of town with the windows down. It felt like we were driving through a blast furnace, but we didn't even notice. We talked for 10 hours hours straight as we drove up I-35. We made a list of people that we felt would be good at the business. We were so excited about the opportunity that lay before us, we could hardly see straight. I became an independent national sales director in 2000 after being a sales director for the previous 12 years. During those years, I met countless women who were looking for the same things I've been looking for, the exact same things that Mary Kay continues to offer. Things like freedom and flexibility to be your own boss and earning potential, all wrapped up in the philosophy by which Mary Kay lived: God first, family second, and career third. She always said that if you kept these priorities in order, things had a way of working out. Together we built the largest sales unit in the history of the company at the time, eventually becoming the #1 sales unit in the United States, a position we held for 7 consecutive years from 1994 to 2000, which was a record that stands to this day. At that first seminar in 1987, I didn't fully understand what was necessary to become an independent national sales director. Mary Kay made it clear that it would take work, grit, vision, bounce back ability, and lots of love for others to attain this status. That was okay with me. I grew up on a dairy farm. My mom and dad and my siblings expected nothing less in their lives, so these were concepts that were familiar to me. I knew I had found a place where I could make a positive difference in the world. Whenever Mary Kay Ash was asked what's the most important thing her independent salespeople could do for her, she would always say the same thing. You've heard it earlier today: pass it on. She wanted us to pass on her belief in other women, her ideals of golden rule living, and her philosophy of God first, family second, career third. Of course, she wanted us to pass on the Mary Kay opportunity as a vehicle that would enrich women's lives. Dan and I have been married for 40 years. We have 3 adult children, married to 3 incredible spouses, and 7 beautiful grandchildren, ranging in age from 1 to 19. We just spent a week in Florida with the whole crew. It's always the highlight of our year when we can all be together from all over the country. Our kids and their spouses get to hang out together. The grandkids get to spend time bonding and playing with each other. Grandma Lisa and Grandpa Dan just get to dote on everybody and enjoy our family. As parents, we always tried to pass on to our kids the values we thought were important. Love for God, first off, and love for country. Hard work is a good thing. Help others and never give up. Dream big and follow your passions. I can assure you, it wasn't always easy. Hello, officer. Yes, we have a child by that name. You clocked him driving down the interstate at 93 miles per hour with 3 other kids in the car? What do you mean you got 2 Fs in your first semester of college? Are you serious? Did you even open a book? You don't want me to tell Dad? Oh, trust me, I'll be telling Dad. So what you're saying is, you want to become a photographer after spending 4 years getting a 2-year degree in fire science? We paid for 4 years of college. They know the rules. My daughter, who's the oldest, she knew it. And with a year to go, after studying abroad, changing her major, etc., it wasn't looking possible. So she said, Mom, everybody takes 5 years. She thought she could get away with it because I'm a college dropout. I said, that's great. What you get done in 4 years is free. You'll pay the rest. Miraculously, she finished in 4 years. Fortunately, we've transitioned away from those days when we wondered if it was a good idea to have kids in the first place. Today we look at them and we think our kids and their spouses are wonderful parents. They have amazing children. They're perfect. They're teaching them the same things we taught them when they were growing up. When we're around our kids and their families, it's not unusual for Dan and I to share a knowing look as if to say, wow, all those lessons we tried to pass on actually took hold. We are lucky and blessed for sure. You know, one of the reasons Mary Kay Ash created the role of Independent National Sales Director was that she knew she wasn't going to be around forever. She wanted national sales directors to represent her after she was gone. She wanted them to lead and inspire and to motivate the people in the Mary Kay Independent Sales Force. However, her request to pass it on was not just meant for national sales directors. It was meant for everybody, sales directors and beauty consultants alike. When Mary Kay said, pass it on, what exactly did she mean by it? Well, I have a short list for starters. It means enthusiasm, knowledge, skills, and legacy. Number one, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is nothing more than intense enjoyment coupled with playfulness, inventiveness, optimism, and high energy. Can you think of 4 better words to describe Mary Kay? But how can you pass on enthusiasm when you're not feeling enthusiastic? I have some ideas. Make 25 booking calls and revel in the feeling of getting 5 yeses or 7 yeses or even 10 yeses. There's nothing more exciting than opening your date book and having more appointments than you think you can handle. Or make 25 customer calls and tell them about the new products coming out. Work with me, people. Selling is exciting. It's exciting, right? The thrill of the sale never gets old. Or conduct 25 team building appointments and see what happens to your enthusiasm level when you add 5 new team members by the end of this month. Intentional activity across all parts of your business will yield results, and results create enthusiasm. Number 2, knowledge. Knowledge is nothing more than facts or information acquired by a person through experience or education. But how can you pass on knowledge that you haven't attained? The fact that you are here at seminar or attending virtually tells me a lot. It tells me that you want to know more about all the wonderful Mary Kay products we have to offer. It tells me that you want to learn more about team building and leadership. It tells me that you want to learn more about technology and all the other aspects involved in operating an in-home business. A person without knowledge is like a tree without roots. One of the most inspiring sights to me personally is going to an event like seminar and seeing top sales directors and national sales directors sitting in on classes with their notebooks open, still observing and learning and growing in the knowledge they receive from others. Number 3, skills. Skills are nothing more than the abilities you have to do something well. But how can you pass on skills that you haven't mastered? When I was a brand new beauty consultant, I remember getting ready for my first party. I was so nervous, but I got through it. And when I got home and told my husband about my sales, which happened to be $156, he said, "They actually bought that much?" I said, "Yeah, I guess so. I don't get it, but yeah." During my first year in the business, I held 102 parties, and my skills improved at each one. Practice makes perfect, they say. By the end of my first year, I could have done a party backwards and blindfolded. Finally, your legacy. Your legacy is nothing more than things that are an important part of your personal history. But how can you pass on a legacy that you haven't built? As an independent national sales director, I have the unique opportunity to pass my sales unit on to my daughter, who is a sales director when I debut as an emeritus in 3 years. My daughter Rachel became a sales director last year after working as my unit manager for years. Like a lot of Nationals daughters, Rachel grew up in a Mary Kay home. She loves the company and the people and is more than ready to continue the legacy that I started back in 1986. This is exactly what Mary Kay envisioned, and I know it would make her happy to see daughters all across the country following in their mother's footsteps. Think about that the next time you're prepping for a party, or the next time you're in your office making booking or follow-up calls. You are building the groundwork for the next generation of Mary Kay sales force leaders. You are building your own personal legacy. As I stand here today on this stage, it's surreal and it's exhilarating to know that I am holding the baton that Mary Kay passed to me. I've never taken that for granted, and I'm grateful beyond words to be entrusted now to pass that baton on to you. Tonight, the Madson National Area will be meeting for our awards banquet. In alphabetical order, we will be recognizing Amy Brady, Shannon DeGuay, Amy Hannaful, Carrie Johnson, Heather Juleson, Heidi Keneally, Carolyn Meekum, and Jenny Pepke as our top sales directors and their units. The top 3 sales directors and their units did over $500,000, and the number 1 and number 2 unit did over $550,000. If you ever feel as though your order doesn't matter, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The number 1 and the number 2 positions in the Madison area are separated tonight, number 1 and number 2, by a total of $34.63 wholesale. Every customer's order counts. Every champion was a contender that refused to give up. I love working with all these women and the entire Madison National area of sales directors and beauty consultants. Thank you to each and every one of you. Each of you is in the process of creating your own legacy, just as Mary Kay wanted. In your daily lives and your Mary Kay journeys, as you are able to pass on hope in a world where a lot of people have stopped hoping. You are able to pass on belief in miracles in a world where many people have stopped believing. You are able to pass on love in a world where many people feel despair. You are able to pass on the Mary Kay opportunity in a world where many think that opportunity doesn't exist. I am so proud and grateful to be recognized as the number 1 national sales director at the Diamond Seminar. I'd like to think that Mary Kay Ash would be proud of us too. I know that if she was here with us today, she would be just as inspiring and funny and motivating as she was when I saw her for the first time 35 years ago. And for sure, I know that if anybody said, Mary Kay, what's the most important thing we can do for you? She would look you in the eye and say, pass it on. Thank you so much, and may God bless you as you set your goals and strive to reach them during the 60th anniversary year. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for your number 1 National Sales Director, Senior National Sales Director, Lisa Madson.